Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to No Plan B. This is a team tactics game. Not so much as you're playing this with other people, you are the one in command of the SWAT team. You're gonna be left to one to make all the tough calls. You have to set up the plan. It might immediately remind you of a game like Door Kickers, and you might be questioning, what's the difference? Why should I care about this game? Well, this game does not have a plan B. In Door Kickers, if something goes wrong, you can immediately take over. You can pause it at any time. You can adjust your plan on the fly. In No Plan B, you do not get this luxury. You plan your mission, you click execute, and your team gets to do the mission. There's no intervening, there's no pausing, there's no changing the plan. And if you mess up, your operatives die. The way you play the game is through a campaign. It has a couple of chapters, and every chapter you unlock additional gear, but also additional operatives. Because you only start with 2 operatives. That might not be enough to clear a mission, but you'll have to make do. Now, as you can see in the editor here, I have just the 2 operatives, and I have to clear this whole building. The objective is to stop the ongoing siege, aka eliminate all the targets. How you go about that is entirely up to you. Early game though, you'll have to make do with whatever resources you have, and I currently have an SMG, a shotgun, a pistol, and 1 flash grenade. And that is it. Now my specialists, my agents, have a couple of different skills, as well as a weapon stat. Some weapons are really good at range, but have poor rate of fire, and vice versa. So what sort of tools you want for this particular mission is entirely up to you. Some guys, like this one, Fred, he can go silent. I named them Ed and Fred in case you're wondering, that's not the game doing that. And he can go silent, so a shotgun is not necessarily going to be his best option. Now, silent in this game, at least in this phase, is not quite there, because while you can customize your weaponry, I simply don't have the gear for that yet. I don't have a suppressor. I might get to unlock that in a future mission. So for now, one gets a pistol, and the other guy is going to get an SMG. Time to tackle this first door. We're going to open the door and start to break in. I'm going to try and get these guys to move through the perimeter or through the objective as smoothly as possible. But as you can see here, I'm not quite doing it properly. Because as it happens, these guys are now doing it one by one. So first one guy goes in and then the other guy moves up. It's not quite how I should be doing it. This is a much better way. I'm going to have one guy move in and at the same time have the other guy move along, because you're trying to concentrate your firepower onto one room. So I need to make sure that they walk into the room together. This locking or unlocking of the time bar or the timeline is going to change how your operatives actually manage to synchronize or not synchronize their actions. So that's one room assumedly cleared. And here again is where I'd like to highlight it is no plan B. It is possible that the guy with the pistol, who I'm giving orders to now, is going to be dead at this point. In such a case, the other guy will still try and open the door all by himself, but he might not check all the corners because he has not been given those instructions. Your operatives just follow the rules that you set out. If that means that, for example, this pistol guy is going to be checking the room next to him and dies, well, I'm sorry, but you won't get a do-over. Your operative is dead. And that room is going to remain unchecked. The SMG guy, who's currently just guarding the other door, is going to maintain his position. If he gets shot at, sure enough, he might turn around. Otherwise, not so much. Now, as you're planning the mission, you can occasionally press play if you want to see exactly how things are going to go. If you're happy with it, fine. We're going to move up a little bit. Now, you have already seen this mission in the intro. And there was something a little weird about the way that the guy on the other side of the door seemed to be guarding the door, but wasn't actually opening fire. I think he was just pointing at the door, but couldn't quite see my operatives yet. This is a bit weird, but okay, we'll just give it the benefit of the doubt. Now, next phase, you can see me throw the flashbang, or at least plan to throw the flashbang, and the moment that the flashbang goes off, one guy pushes left into the room, the guy with the pistol, the other guy, the thrower, pushes to the right side. I want to make sure that that other area is also clear. It is possible that by now I have completed the mission, and that all the other guys, all the targets are eliminated. Nevertheless, you better check all the angles and clear all the rooms, because if you don't, well, you are on a timer. Below the 39 seconds, it says 45, and that's my maximum allotted time. So I have to complete the whole song and dance within 45 seconds. Time to execute the mission and see how it goes. Now, at this point, I can only execute, and I can have a look at what the guys are seeing, and that's about it. I cannot actually interfere with what they're doing. So here we go, that's the first target down. Opening the door, there's one coming in. It's his mistake, the SMG takes care of him. Waiting for a second, SMG guarding the door, pistol guy goes in. The guy's completely distracted over there, looking the wrong way. Works for me. Taking aim, taking position. And flashbang. Out. Now I push in. Clearing out the side, you can barely see him, but he's gone. And now, check that last room. That was a little weird dance. Apparently I hadn't actually set that command correctly. And he's going to check around all the edges, all the corners. Should have had them check that other area before. But hey, mission complete. As you're going through missions, you'll also be able to get new equipment. This is going to, for example, give me a smoke, a decoy, or a shock grenade. Which one you pick can have serious consequences on what sort of tactics you're going to have to use. A smoke grenade might be very useful in blocking a room, whereas of course a flashbang or a shock grenade is going to temporarily stun enemies, but won't actually cut a room in half. Now, on to the next mission. Let's see what else we have in store. In this one, I have options about where I want to breach, much like before. I generally prefer breaching the smaller area, because it does mean that I have a bit more control. And as the game here indicates, if you have characters going through a campaign series, they will sustain injuries between missions. So it is rather important to keep your guys as safe as possible. That means using as much cover as available. Of course, as you're trying to clear a building, using cover is not necessarily going to be a very easy thing to do. Now, let's bring both of these into a position where I can actually deploy them. I'm going to bring that additional smoke grenade along, and we're going to start building a plan. I'm going to start with first clearing this little room, making sure that we have the door covered as I'm pushing my way in, and then together clear the big room. I do have a flashbang, and I don't want to use it here because this has a very nice line of sight. The other room is a bit more concerning, especially with that blockade in the middle, whatever it turns out to be. So let's throw the flashbang, and then we push in. Again, I'm trying to synchronize this as best as I can with the blast so that I have both angles covered, and we're going to push in up until we have good vision of the whole room, clear out the whole place, and eliminate all the enemies. And in the end, and this is after editing the replay, that turned into this. Immediately breaching the first room, that went well. Having a look around, and in the replay you can see where the bad guy is. Armed with what seems to be an SMG. Flash goes out, he gets stunned but only briefly. My guys push in and take a lot of fire. And that is problematic because those injuries stick. Nevertheless, mission complete. Enemies down. Moving on to the next one. Now what happens when a mission goes completely sideways? Well, that's exactly what happened here. This is a mission where I'm escorting a bomb technician onto a position where there are a couple of bombs at the end of the mission. I'm pushing in with Fred and Ed, and Fred dies. Well, this is problematic because now I have half my firepower and I cannot intervene in any of the plans. So this means my one guy is going to have to go through his own battle plan, not being covered by his friend, and as such being at extreme risk. You never quite know what you're going to find around that next corner, and especially if that next corner isn't getting checked. Yeah. Well, there are the bombs. We found those. At this point, pistol guy, I think it was Fred, was supposed to open the door, but there's two of them here, and I don't have the firepower. So my guy dies, the bomber diffuser dies, and it is exit mission. What happens now? Well, I need to restart the chapter, do the missions again, and be better. But this also means I will have given up on my additional gear, my additional skill sets, and my additional grenades. So I get to start all over again. Something that makes the game quite a bit refreshing is that you can choose different types of squads. What I've just shown you so far was SWAT, but I can also play as the Blind Giants, which is a name that the game picked for a robber faction. Now the robbers have not only different gear, they also get a different campaign. In this case, I have to do a neutralization of the guards, as I am robbing the place. You are now doing the bad guy run, if you will. This case, I have to neutralize the guards, but here I have to walk out with the loot. Over here, I have to walk out with the loot and it unlocks a whole bunch of things. So these missions are quite different, although to some extent they're similar. Because you're still planning on how to go through a mission. You're still planning on how to get into a particular site. It's just that sometimes, at least in this case, you're going to have to also get out with the loot. Different yet again are the Fatal Witches. This is a group of Bonnie and Clyde. And these two are playing as the gangsters. Let's have a mission as them, because they have a different objective. Snatch as many supplies as possible. Let's have a look at how these guys are going to complete the mission. They will have different stats. They're not going to be as good as some of the others. Now, in this case, I seem to be able to ignore part of the mission, because I don't need to clear the whole site. So in this case, I might be able to just, let's say, push in here, clear this room, and make my way here, and then walk out. Sadly, this is seemingly blocked, so I cannot enter it. We're going to have to go in and go out again, and potentially cover our way as we're leaving the premises. Alternatively, I can go in here, push that door, go here, basically ignore this whole room, and then push there. I think ignoring this whole room is appealing, but there seems to be a bit of a kill funnel here. It's not great, but let's see how it goes. So, we're going to have our two bad guys, if you will, Bonnie and Clyde. One with a Uzi and the other one, why not, with the twins, the shotgun. You're also going to get a storm grenade. This is a frag grenade dealing reduced damage at a long range. So these guys do a bit more damage. They got bigger range, but they do less damage. Alright. Let's have you push through. You're going to wait there for a second. You're going to clear out the whole area. And ideally do this at the same time. So we're going to kick the door, at which point you'll make your nice little dash here. And we're going to be linking up at the door. Once we're at the door, we push through. We push through, we push through, we push through. And you're going to have a look at this side. And then you're going to have a look at that side. And you're going to be covering essentially that bit. While you're doing that, you're of course going to be getting your husband friend with you. / fellow gangster. Keep an eye on the front. At this point, I am missing about half my firepower. Because Bonnie is in the way. So Clyde's going to have to take over. Once we're here, let's move ahead a little bit. I want to have this area cleared. So we're going to push you in there. Whoops. I'm going to push you over into the edge. Make sure there's nothing there. And then take control of that door. As that's going on. So she pushes to the right. You're now going to start moving forward. And let's say initially just guard these two doors. That's primary objective as Bonnie is clearing the other side. Okay, moving on. We have done that. At this point, Bonnie has cleared that, so she can move up. I'm going to have Bonnie continue on her way, because with her SMG, she should be nice and mobile. We're going to do this, let's say, somewhat counterclockwise. Sorry, no, actually clockwise. Okay. There. And then look at the, whoops, look at the door. Here, look at the door. Alright, you're going to be getting your companion to come with you. It's a small map, so I think we can do that. So, as she's moving up, you are also going to be moving up. And you're going to push, oh, you're going to push the other side. Like that. And then you're going to take position here and secure the back. In case they want to make some effort to deal with me here. Okay, now we're going to push this side. Push in here. It's a nice and controlled space here. So I think we can just get away with pushing in again. I know I'm not using grenades, but at the moment I'm not even sure I need grenades. Over here though, that might be very different. Because now it's a larger room and there could be guys out in the distance. So we're going to throw that storm grenade right about there. Oh, actually, let's make sure you're not immediately in the line of fire. So that part has to go. There. Now you're going to throw open the door, toss that in. Once that thing has gone off, you push in, and so do you. Then we grab whatever we can, and we run the hell out. Because that's something you can also do, and I haven't even shown that yet. From this point on, I want to go and make a run for it. They cannot shoot, but they will make more noise, but they're going to be out faster. So you're going to be going running. And we're going to run all the way back home. Although, actually, it's an infill mission, it's not an exfil. I'm not even sure I need to do that. Let's continue her, whoops, on her way out, nevertheless. Oh, crap. Wrong door. Let's roleplay in the sense that I might as well grab the stuff and get out. All the way there, and hope that we don't encounter any further resistance. You need to switch to running, sir. Running. Okay. So they rush in there, clear that out, and then they hop the hell out. If somebody else has come in from here, starts shooting, I am going to be in a lot of trouble. But let's see how it goes. Now there's also some options that you can do off map, if you will. You can do a map scan. This allows you to see more or less where the enemy is going to be, but you get less XP, which is not something that you really want to do. Tear gas, it has less field of fire, or sorry, less field of view when attacking. They get a lot of debuffs. My squad moves slightly slower. You can do a deafening strike, less sound perception, so if you want to do, let's say, something sneaky, and potentially with suppressed weapons, this can help. Or you can even do a night raid. It means that your guys are going to have potentially better vision if you have something along the lines of night vision gear. I don't need any of those, nor do I have access to them. So let's execute this mission. I am just ignoring this whole room, but I'm assuming that if I make enough noise, and with a shotgun I probably will, somebody is going to come out and investigate. Hello. Ow. That's about half my health gone. Good day. There's one. What are we even... Oh, God. Bonnie has died. Shotgun working as intended. He's now waiting for her to clear this, but this is seemingly clear. Thankfully, I still have the storm grenade. This room's clear. Let's continue with that attack nonetheless. I mean, I can't change it even if I wanted to. Boom. Hello. So, the good news? I got the mission complete. The bad news? I lost half my squad. Which is going to make the rest of the missions that much harder. What went wrong? Well, over here, I encountered more resistance than expected. And that's where Bonnie died. So that's something I would need to do different next time. Maybe use a different weapon. Maybe use a different tactic. Maybe come in from the other door. But that's the beauty of Plan B. You don't have a second go at the mission if you just want to try something else. Nope, you're going to have to reset your progress. And that can be a little painful. So that's a brief look at No Plan B. I, for one, like it. It is interesting trying to fix these puzzles, and especially knowing that the stakes are high with one go, you better make sure that, well, quite literally, you have all your angles covered. Because if not, stuff like this happens. You lose operatives, you lose the mission's not going to go as well, and you're back to the drawing board. Back to the puzzle, get better, do better, fight better. And of course, there's a ton more to explore with these different playstyles between the different factions, different weapons to unlock, different gear to add to those weapons like attachments. You can definitely get a lot of playtime out of this game. You can find it linked down below in the description. Enjoy.